Welcome back to our channel. Today is a beautiful day to dive into the latest daytime drama. We have some absolutely crazy updates to share with you all right now. The drama in Genoa City is just getting out of control, so let us just jump right into the mess. And man oh man, things are getting so incredibly messy for Jack Abbott right now. You would think the guy has suffered enough lately. But nope, the writers are just throwing more dirt on him. So Diane Jenkins Abbott is about to get another massive reason to absolutely lose her mind. The week of April 20th to 24th is going to bring a totally shocking scene for Diane. And it is going to make her even more furious with Jack. Just when you think they might find a way to talk things out, everything blows up in their faces again, because Jack just cannot catch a break. And Diane just refuses to give him one. It is just endless fighting. Let us back up a bit and look at why Diane is so mad in the first place. So we all know what happened on that abandoned yacht. Victor Newman set the whole thing up. He used Patty Williams. Crazy Patty, he drugged Jack and locked him in a cabin with her. Jack was totally out of his mind. He was a victim here. But Diane walked in and saw them in bed together. And she just cannot get that horrible image out of her head. She blames Jack, even though Jack was drugged and forced into it. So Diane is just punishing him over and over. She acts like he chose to cheat on her. But he did not. He was literally held hostage. And the hypocrisy here is just wild. Tracy Abbott even tried to talk some sense into Diane. Tracy reminded Diane that she literally faked her own death back in 2011. She used a dead body from a morgue. She let Jack and Kyle mourn her for over a decade. And she framed Nikki Newman for murder. So Tracy is like, hey, maybe cut Jack some slack since you have done way worse things. But Diane does not care. She just ignores Tracy. She refuses to show any compassion for Jack. She is just so stuck in her own anger and victimhood. And it is making her do crazy things like teaming up with Victor, the guy who kidnapped her husband. Make it make sense. So where does Nikki Newman fit into all this mess? Well, Nikki feels super guilty. Victor only went after Jack because Jack helped Nikki when she was falling off the wagon. Jack saved her life basically, and Victor hated that. So Victor punished Jack to get back at him, and Nikki knows this. She knows Jack is suffering because of her. So she is trying to be a good friend. She is trying to support Jack while his life falls apart. But Diane hates Nikki. Diane has always hated Nikki. And seeing Nikki hover around Jack is just making Diane's blood boil. She already slammed a door in Nikki's face when Nikki tried to make peace. It was brutal. And that brings us to the brainstorming session. Jack and Nikki recently sat down to try and figure out how to fix their broken marriages. Because Nikki's marriage to Victor is basically over right now too. So they were just throwing ideas at the wall. And at one point they actually talked about using their connection to spark some jealousy. You know, like in those cheesy romance novels. They thought maybe if Victor and Diane saw them getting close, it would make them jealous and want them back. But Nikki quickly shot that down. She said it would not be a romance novel. It would be a total horror movie. And she was so right. It is a terrible idea. But Jack is just so desperate right now. He is losing his company. Jabbo is slipping away. His wife hates him. His son Kyle is caught in the middle and crying about it. Jack is just drowning. So he is leaning hard on Nikki because Nikki is the only one who really gets what Victor is capable of. She is the only one who understands the exact kind of pain Jack is in. So Jack keeps going to her for comfort. He just wants a friend. He just wants someone to tell him it will be okay. But he is playing with fire because Diane is watching. And Diane is already paranoid, and Jack is just not thinking straight anymore. So this leads to the big moment. Sometime during the week of April 20th to 24th, Jack is going to have a really bad stroke of luck. He is probably going to be pouring his heart out to Nikki. Maybe they are at the GCAC or society, and Jack is just looking so defeated. And Nikki, being the caring friend she is right now, probably reaches out to comfort him. Maybe it is a long emotional hug. Or maybe they are just standing way too close and looking deep into each other's eyes. It is an innocent moment of support. But it looks incredibly intimate if you do not know the context. It looks bad, real bad, and of course Diane walks in at the exact wrong time. Because this is a soap opera and timing is everything. Diane is going to show up and see Jack and Nikki in this super awkward compromising position, and it is going to look so scandalous. After everything that happened with Patty Williams, Jack really needs to keep his distance from other women. Especially Nikki, but he does not, so Diane sees them. And her mind just goes to the worst possible place. She sees her husband getting cozy with her ultimate rival. The woman she has hated for decades, the woman she framed for murder years ago. and Diane is going to absolutely explode. She is going to confront Jack right then, and there, the rage is going to be off the charts. She is going to start screaming and making a huge scene. She will probably ask Jack how many women he plans to be inappropriate with. She will throw the patty thing in his face again, and now she will add Nikki to the list. Diane is not going to listen to any explanations. Jack can say it was just a hug until he is blue in the face. Diane will not care. She is just going to see red. She is going to tear into him. Because the trauma of seeing Jack in bed with Patty is still so fresh for Diane, she cannot unsee it. That image is burned into her brain. So when she sees Jack touching Nikki, all those feelings of betrayal just come rushing back. She feels humiliated all over again. She feels like Jack is making a fool out of her. Even though Jack is innocent in both situations, Diane's reality is totally warped by her anger. She is going to lash out with everything she has. And she is going to say some really nasty things to Jack. Things that you cannot take back. It is going to be ugly. Diane is going to accuse Jack of always wanting Nikki. She will say that Nikki is the one he truly loves. Because Jack and Nikki have a long history together too. They have been married before. They have a past, so Diane is going to use that against him. She will ask him if he and Nikki are going to ride off into the sunset together and live happily ever after. Since Nikki's marriage to Victor is falling apart, Diane will assume they are just waiting to hook up. She will twist this innocent moment into a massive betrayal. She will make Jack feel like garbage. And Nikki is going to try and defend Jack. She will probably try to step in and tell Diane to calm down. Nikki will say they were just talking and that Jack is in a lot of pain. But Diane is going to shut her down fast. Diane will tell Nikki to stay out of her marriage. She will probably tell Nikki to go fix her own miserable life with Victor instead of trying to play savior for Jack. The tension between Diane and Nikki is going to be thick enough to cut with a knife. These two women despise each other, and this is just throwing gasoline on the fire. Nikki will not stand a chance against Diane's yelling, and poor Jack, he is just going to stand there realizing that his marriage is slipping even further away. He wanted to fix things. He wanted Diane to forgive him. But now he has just made it 10 times worse. He is going to feel so stupid for letting Nikki get that close in public. He knows how Diane feels about Nikki. But he was just so tired and desperate for a friend. Now he has to deal with Diane's wrath all over again. And he knows that repairing the damage is going to be nearly impossible now. Diane's walls are going to go up higher than ever. Jack is just completely stuck. And this is so dangerous because of what Diane is doing behind Jack's back. We know she is secretly teaming up with Victor. Victor is helping her take over Abbott to teach Jack a lesson. So this misunderstanding with Nikki is just going to push Diane further into Victor's trap. She is going to feel totally justified in destroying Jack's company now. She will think Jack deserves it for getting cozy with Nikki. Diane is going to use this anger to fuel her revenge plot. And Jack has no idea that the woman he loves is actively working with his worst enemy to ruin his life. It is so messed up. So the week of April 20th to 24th is going to be a total disaster for Jack Abbott. His marriage is basically in the garbage at this point. Diane is out for blood, Nikki is stuck in the middle, and Victor is just sitting back laughing at all of them. It is a crazy situation. And I honestly do not know how Jack is going to survive this. He is losing everything. His wife, his company, his dignity, and it is all because of one big misunderstanding after another. But that is Genoa City for you. Nobody ever talks things out. They just scream and plot revenge. And we are here for every messy minute of it. Just typing this all out makes me tired. So much drama, so much yelling. But we will keep watching, because we always do.